Eager to share his newest tune, which he called a good song, Maple had been looking for Oliver all morning. He found his friend donning what could only be described as big boots, an unmistakable sign of an impending adventure. Maple's heart swelled with excitement. "Oliver, what's the occasion for such grand boots?" he asked. Oliver, with a twinkle in his eye that matched the sparkle of his boots, announced, "We're off on an expedition to discover the North Pole." Maple, though not entirely sure what a North Pole was, understood it to be just a thing you discover, according to Oliver. The notion filled Maple with an adventurous spirit, and he was tasked with gathering everyone and informing them to bring provisions for the journey. Daisy, upon hearing the news, felt a wave of nervousness. The idea of discovering a fierce animal along the way chilled his bones. Yet, the thought of Oliver leading the expedition brought comfort, knowing they would be in safe hands. At the top of the Enchanted Forest, all were assembled, provisions at the ready. Georgie voiced his concern about the large number of attendees, lamenting that with Kitty's many relations, it seemed less an expedition and more a confused noise. Kitty, unperturbed, took his place at the front, signaling the start of their journey. As they marched, Maple hummed his good song, the melody floating softly among the trees. But his tune came to an abrupt halt when Oliver signaled for silence. "Hush, we're just coming to a dangerous place," he whispered. They had reached a stream that danced and twisted between rocky banks, perfect spot for an ambush, Oliver surmised. Proceeding with caution, they navigated the treacherous path until they arrived at a broader bank. "Let's halt for a moment. It's time to eat our provisions," Oliver declared. Unfortunately, Georgie had brought no provisions of his own. Lucky for him, Maple found himself sitting near a prickly thistle, an impromptu snack. Meanwhile, Oliver pulled Kitty aside for a private conversation, making Kitty feel exceptionally important. They pondered what the North Pole might look like, both having forgotten its appearance. They concluded it must be akin to a pole, simple yet profound in its purpose. During this time, Roo, indulging in a moment of cleanliness, washed his face and paws in the stream, only to accidentally fall in. The incident thrilled Roo, though it sent ripples of worry through the group. Daisy jumped up and down in a frenzy, Al offered explanations, Mrs. K made comforting noises, and Georgie dipped his tail in the water, hoping to offer some assistance. Oliver and Kitty scrambled to find something for Roo to grab onto. Maple, positioned 2 pools below Roo, stood ready with a long pole in his hands. Mrs. K took hold of one end, and as Roo drifted against it, he was safely guided to shore. Maple beamed with pride. "I found a pole and thought it might be useful," he explained. With that, Oliver declared the expedition a resounding success. Maple had found the North Pole. The oversight that no one had informed Georgie to remove his tail from the cold water, nor that Roo had been safely rescued, lingered in the air. Nonetheless, the adventure concluded, and Maple wandered home, his heart content and ready for a little something to eat. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple as Maple reflected on the day's journey. It had been an expedition of laughter, minor perils, and the joy of companionship. In the heart of the Enchanted Forest, they had discovered not just the North Pole but the warmth of friendship and the thrill of adventure. As Maple settled down, the melodies of his good song whispered through the trees, a lullaby to the end of a perfect day. As Maple made his way home, the soft glow of twilight bathed the Enchanted Forest in a serene light. His thoughts meandered back to the day's adventure, replaying each moment with a fondness that warmed his heart. The expedition, though declared a success, was not just about finding the North Pole. It was about the bonds that were strengthened and the memories that were made along the journey. Earlier in the day, as they had navigated through the Enchanted Forest, each friend had brought something unique to the expedition. Daisy's cautious optimism, Kitty's leadership, George's reluctant participation, and Mrs. K's nurturing spirit had all played pivotal roles. Roo's youthful exuberance and Oliver's adventurous vision had propelled them forward. And Maple, with his good song and quick thinking, had inadvertently led them to their prize. But the adventure was not over for Maple. As he ambled home, his mind buzzed with ideas for a new song, one that would encapsulate the day's events. He hummed a few notes, trying to capture the essence of their expedition. The melody was light and adventurous, with a touch of whimsy to reflect the unexpected turns of their journey. Before Maple reached his cozy abode, he decided to make a detour to share his initial melody with Daisy. He knew Daisy, with his sensitive nature, would offer valuable feedback. As he approached Daisy's house, the soft lights from within cast a welcoming glow through the windows. Knocking gently on the door, Maple was greeted by Daisy's surprised yet pleased expression. "Maple, what a pleasant surprise!" Come in," Daisy exclaimed, ushering his friend inside. Maple shared his new melody with Daisy, who listened intently. The song, still in its infancy, captured the spirit of their expedition and the camaraderie that had flourished among them. Daisy, moved by the melody, suggested a few gentle tweaks to the tune, adding a layer of depth that only he could envision. Together, they worked into the night, refining the song, until it felt like a true representation of their adventure to the North Pole. It was a testament to their friendship, a reminder of the day they all came together to achieve something extraordinary. As the night wore on, Maple realized it was time to head home. He thanked Daisy for his help and made his way back under the starlit sky. The enchanted forest was peaceful at night, with only the soft rustling of leaves and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures to accompany him. Arriving home, Maple felt a sense of contentment wash over him. The adventure had brought them all closer, and the new song was a tribute to their shared experience. He settled into his cozy bed, the events of the day replaying in his mind. As sleep began to envelop him, Maple thought about the true meaning of the North Pole. It wasn't just a place or a thing to be discovered, it was about the journey, the challenges they overcame, and the joy of exploring together. In their hearts, they had all discovered their own North Poles, each one unique and special. The next morning, Maple woke up with a sense of anticipation. He was eager to share the new song with the rest of his friends, to relive the adventure through the melody and lyrics. After a hearty breakfast, he set out to gather everyone at the same spot where the expedition had begun. One by one, his friends arrived, curious to hear Maple's new creation. As they all settled down, Maple cleared his throat and began to sing. The song flowed through the enchanted forest, beautiful narrative of their expedition to the North Pole. It spoke of friendship, adventure, and the magic of discovery. As the final notes of the song faded, a hush fell over the group. Then, as if on cue, they all erupted into cheers and applause. Oliver clapped Maple on the back, proud of their collective achievement and Maple's talent in capturing it so perfectly. The song became a cherished memory for them all, a reminder of their incredible journey together. And as they went about their days, each friend carried with them the spirit of the expedition, a spark of adventure that would never fade. The expedition to the North Pole, though it had started as a simple adventure, had become a defining moment in their lives. It had taught them the value of friendship, the thrill of exploration, and the beauty of seeing the world through each other's eyes. And for Maple, it was a reminder that sometimes, the greatest discoveries are not just about finding new places but seeing familiar ones with new eyes and a full heart.
Join us for a full bedtime story, Teddy's Adventure, from our enchanting playlist on our YouTube channel.